The project scope management is the process of defining, planning, monitoring and controlling the scope of a project. It is an essential aspect of project management as it helps to ensure that the project stays on track, meets the needs of stakeholders, and delivers the intended results. There are 5 key components of project scope management, and those are scope planning, scope definition, scope verification, scope control, and scope closure. Let's briefly touch each of them, followed by an example. Scope planning. This involves developing a detailed project plan that outlines the objectives, deliverables, and the requirements of the project. It includes identifying stakeholders, defining project scope, and creating a project schedule. Scope definition. This involves creating a detailed description of the project's deliverables and requirements. It includes breaking down the project into smaller, manageable components and developing a detailed work breakdown structure. Scope verification. This involves reviewing and approving the project plan and scope definition to ensure that they are accurate and meet the needs of all the stakeholders. Scope control. This involves monitoring and controlling the project's progress to ensure that it stays within the defined scope. It includes identifying and managing scope changes and making sure that they are approved and implemented in a controlled manner. Scope closure. This involves completing the project and delivering the final deliverables. It includes ensuring that all project objectives have been met and that the project has been successfully closed. Effective project scope management is essential for ensuring that a project is completed on time, within budget, and to the satisfaction of all stakeholders. It helps to keep the project focused on its objectives and to ensure that any scope changes are managed in a controlled and effective manner. Let's have a practical example of project scope management of a construction project of building a new shopping mall. As part of scope planning, which involves developing a detailed project plan that outlines the objectives, deliverables, and requirements of the project manager will work with the stakeholders such as the mall owner, tenants, and the local government to define the project scope, which includes the number of stores, the square footage, the amenities, the parking lot, and the schedule. As part of scope definition, which involves creating a detailed description of project's deliverables and requirements, the project manager will work with the architect and engineers to break down the project into smaller, manageable components and develop a detailed work breakdown structure that includes the different phases of the construction process, the material, and the labor. As part of scope verification, this which involves reviewing and approving the project plan and scope definition to ensure that they are accurate and meet the needs of stakeholders. The project manager will conduct a scope walkthrough with the stakeholders to review the design, the schedule, and the budget and get their approval before proceeding on with the actual construction. As part of scope control, which involves monitoring and controlling the project's progress to ensure that it stays within the defined scope, the project manager will use various tools such as Gantt charts, earned value management, and progress reports to track the progress of the construction and identify any scope changes that may occur, such as changes in the design, the schedule, or the budget, and manage them in a controlled and effective manner. Scope closure, which involves completing the project and delivering the final deliverables, the project manager will conduct a final inspection to ensure that all project objectives have been met and that the mall has been built to the satisfaction of all the stakeholders. The project will then be closed and the mall will be open to the general public. Effective project scope management is essential for ensuring that a project is completed on time, within budget, and to the satisfaction of all stakeholders. It helps to keep the project focused on its objectives and to ensure that any scope changes are managed in a controlled and effective manner. See you in the next lecture.